Straight, wavy, curly, short, or long. Tip number one, if you draw separate hair strands like this, then please stop. Separate strands not only look bad, but they also give a very unprofessional look. Instead of drawing separate strands which look very unprofessional and unfinished, you could draw hair as a bunch. Instead of drawing separate strands, draw a bunch of hair all together as one part. This gives a more natural, bouncy, and finished look to your hair, and they look very natural and good. Especially while coloring, it could look even worse. A little tip for drawing different textures of hair: you could use different shapes like S-shaped lines or C-shaped lines to draw hair textures. Like if you want to do wavy hair, you could do the S-shaped line. It will give a very soft, natural, curled look to your hair. For drawing more curly hair, you could do C-shaped lines like this to make your hair more bouncy and curly. If you want to do more loose curls, you could do a little less defined C shapes like that. For drawing tight curls or very coily hair, you have to draw like small shapes like that, or you could also do like half moon shapes to make it easier for you. Simplify it as half moons and draw a strand like that. If you don't know where to draw hair, you could also draw guidelines like this. Make a center point at the center of the head and then draw lines outward from that point. And then you could do a little rough sketch of what kind of hair you want to draw, and then you can clean it up. Make sure to draw big chunks of hair all together instead of drawing separate hair strands. Using the same guidelines to draw short hair, first make the basic shape of the hair and then start filling it up with details. Okay, now let's try drawing the same haircut but using separate strands. As you can see, it is looking very rough and unfinished and not very neat or professional. Wait, now let's add some details. Whoa, wait a minute. Never mind that. I think I could actually make a separate strand hair look good too. Well, that's a rare talent not everyone has, but I wouldn't recommend you doing the same. Now moving on to the wavy hair, drawing the same guidelines again, make a center point and draw lines outward from that center point, and then start drawing hair from that point. Draw some basic shapes of the hair first and then add details to them. Drawing curly hair, I'm gonna use the same guidelines. You could make different guidelines if you want to. As you can see, I'm keeping the shapes very basic and simple. I'm dividing it into big pieces of hair instead of drawing separate small strands to give it a more defined and nice look. Repeating the same steps, but for drawing curly hair, it's a little different. It is really fun drawing curly hair. Like you have to draw the outer first outline and then you could draw the shapes inside the hair. I don't usually draw curly hair. Well, that's because I thought it was difficult, but it's not that difficult to be honest. It looks really nice, by the way. So you have to draw like incomplete strands inside the hair and then you have to draw an outline outside, give a more natural and fluffy, bouncy look. Add some stray strands at the front or in between anywhere you want. Just don't overdo it. Shading, adding some details. And you are done. This was how to sketch different types of hair. Hopefully you would have learned that by the end of this video. And you could also ask me for rendering tutorial. I will also make that how I render hair. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.